Shalom to the elect of Yahshua, started with the 144,000 elect men, 12,000 from each tribe, which consists of you so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native American Indians, and you Israelite foreigners, Hebrew Israelites, who are scattered among all nations, looking like the other nations and speaking their tongues. Shalom to all of you. Before we get started with this lesson, let's give the much due all phrases, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA QaDash, Halalyam, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA QaDash. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of Great Millstone. Much due respect to you, sincere Akim, who are laboring in the works. Shalom to you believers, to the Akim YAHAWAH, which will be you brothers, and few amount of sincere sisters who do subscribe to this truth, listening and learning in silence as the scriptures say so. I'm your brother Manazar Gabar, representing warriors for YAHAWASHI, Pasadena, Texas branch. Lord willing, this lesson on Pro-Palestine protesters burn the American flag will be edifying and playing upon the tables. All right, so I got 3 clips here. Before I do play them, you know how YouTube gets down. Fair use disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, and that's what we do as prophets. We're the true news reporters by speaking the oracles of the Most High, YAHAWAHSHI, these prophecies, right? And teaching, right? Teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All right, so check this out.
Burn that shit! 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 Burn that shit!
They're chanting Salakia. For those who probably doesn't, you can't really understand what they're saying. They're chanting, burn that shit, burn that shit, burn that shit. That's what these Palestinians are chanting. They're burning the American flag. And they're doing this at Washington, D.C., where chaos erupted at Union Station in Washington, D.C., as pro-Palestine protesters replaced 3 American flags with Palestinian flags and burned them along with a effigy, Salaki if I'm pronouncing it wrong, of Netanyahu, okay? So pretty much, man, America been conquered, and you Americans don't seem to understand that. You've been conquered, man. All right? You've been conquered. And all you're doing is just sitting back, letting your enemies just invade your nation, just getting away with shit like this. But then again, you love your country so much, right? Anywho, man, this is going to lead to what? Sedition among men, civil war, right? Let's play from the beginning.
Burn that shit! 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 Burn that
You proud boys, proud Americans. You've been conquered right before your face. So what you gonna do about it? All right, let's get this.
Back up!
You proud patriots, what you gonna do about this? All right.
But the no, that's them. That's not us.
Back up! Back up! Back up! Take another soldier out! Al-Qassam, make us shame on you! Shame on you! This guy, Rosario right here, he's the one who pepper sprayed everyone for no reason. There were kids in the crowd when you pepper sprayed. There are still kids in the crowd when you pepper sprayed. For what? Because they walked the wrong direction? You want to pepper spray people? The woman of Qassam died! The mother!
All right. Let's start with Ecclesiastes, chapter 3. So in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, a time for everything. Verse 1, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. So let's go down to verse 8. Verse 8, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. So we are witnessing the time of hate and a time of war. You call this love for America? Nobody loves America, man. A lot of nations despise America and you Americans, and they have a deep, deep desire to partake in the destruction of America and you Americans, men, women, children, young and old. And they over here apparently in Washington, D.C. doing this shit. Before you proud patriots, you Edomite so-called white people, they doing this to your land at the Capitol, if I'm not mistaken. This is the Capitol, right? Washington, D.C. Burning your flags and replacing them with the Palestinian flag. You Americans been conquered. All right? It's time of hate and a time of war. That's an act of war, if you think about it. That's an act of war. All right. Let's see. Uproars of the people in the world, right? 2nd Ezra chapter 9. I'm going to give verses 1 through 4. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 9, verse 1 through 4, in the King James Version, Apocrypha. Verse 1, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, you measure the time by watching prophecies unfold and seeing how many prophecies remain to be fulfilled. So as a watchman, for an example, right, a prophet, the prophet would take heed to world events that's going on around the world, that's going on around in the country, whatever the prophets are at, especially here in America, what's going on around your region, your state, your county, your city, your zip code, right? And filter it with scriptures or with prophecies. Okay? So verse 2, verse 2, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, will begin to visit the world which he made. When you read this in another version, it goes into judge the world which he made. Right, so some of the signs, right, for an example, verse 3, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. Right, uproars. Let's go to the etymology right quick. Uproar, the noun for, it's like the etymology for uproar. Outbreak of disorder, revolt, commotion. Used by Tyndale and later, blah, blah, I'm trying to get straight to the point here. Okay. Tumult, riot, literally a stirring up. Okay, so the Lord is stirring up hatred. The Lord is stirring up that spirit upon these nations to have hatred for Babylon and Great, aka America, this whore, and you Americans. For an example, coming over here to your land and burning your flags and replacing them at the Capitol on top of that, if I'm not mistaken, Washington, D.C. Okay, the Lord is stirring up war. He's stirring up civil war, sedition among men, because what? We in a time of hate and a time of war. All right. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, so like natural disasters, right? Hurricane Beryl, for an example, that just happened recently. Tropical storms, a volcano eruption, like at the Yellowstone. Recently had another volcano eruption. Italy has I think like 3 that happened recently. Floods, thunderstorms, this type of storm, so-called natural disasters. And uproars of the people in the world. So protesting, right? Rioting, right? Revolting. Verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So we're witnessing signs coming to pass to let us know that we in that very generation that shall not pass until all these things come to pass, these prophecies, right? The signs come to pass that the Lord Yahawah, YAHAWASHI, is getting ready to bring mass judgment upon earth. Bringing judgment upon rebellious, wicked Israelites. And of course, the heathens are going to get done up too for touching the apple of the Lord's eyes, scattering, his people, polluting our homeland, right? Israel, Jerusalem, right? So yeah, so uproar to the people. Let's get this very quick. So the title for the book of Matthew, chapter 24, goes into signs of YAHAWASHI's return, the true Messiah, second coming. So for an example, we're going to give verse 6, 7, and 8. Red lettering, Lord YAHAWASHI prophesying here. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Right? Are we not hearing about civil war recently, right? The only way to save this nation is by civil war, just paraphrasing what that guy said in that video. World War III, draft for World War III, right? Race wars, riot wars. And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. Right? So the breakdown, despite all of the wars and rumors of wars happening in the world, the end, right? The end of this eon, the end of this era, this rulership, this realm, this kingdom, right? The end will not come until all prophecies has been fulfilled. Matthew chapter 24, verse 34 goes into how that this generation shall not pass until all these things come to pass, these prophecies. The MOTB, right? The RFID chip, the mark of the beast. Jacob's trouble to fully pop off. Okay. And other prophecies too, we're still waiting for. So for your Israelites that's new into the faith, you're new about hearing about this ministry, and you've been hearing about World War III this, World War III that, nuclear warfare this, civil war that, the draft for World War III, and etc. Right? Be not troubled in the mind and the spirit, because the end is not yet. We're still waiting for other prophecies to be fulfilled. Okay. For an example, a major prophecy, the mark of the beast, mentioned in Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 to 17. Right. Now, verse 7 for the book of Matthew chapter 24. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Mind you, a nation is a people before a place, right? So for an example, you got these Palestinians rising up against who? Babylonians, you Americans. Pro-Palestine protesters burned the American flag, a sign of a nation rising up against another nation. And on top of that, they doing that in your land. All right? In your territory. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, scarcity of food, victuals, which going to lead to starvation of many people. And pestilences, diseases, outbreaks, very contagious outbreaks, horrible epidemics, horrible pandemics, creating a unwholesome atmosphere of just pestilences just roaming around. And earthquakes, so-called natural disasters, also commotion and earthquakes in diverse places, many parts of the world. Verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows, with more to come. So in diverse places in many parts of the world, You're going to be hearing about wars, rumors of wars. You're going to be hearing about nation rising against nation, kingdom against kingdom. In many parts of the world, there's also going to be scarcity of food, right? Famine. There's going to be epidemics, pandemics, disease outbreaks, and earthquakes, actual earthquakes, so-called natural disasters in diverse places. If I'm not mistaken, I got an article about how, I think Texas, yeah, see right there at the bottom, Austin, 4.9 magnitude earthquake hit Slovakia. Earthquake in West Texas felt in Dallas, Fort Worth / Austin. Right? Earthquakes in diverse places. Many parts of the world. Actual shaking, so-called natural disasters, and what? Commotion / uproars in diverse places. Okay, an example of literal shakings in many parts of the world. Earthquakes in diverse places. Hawaii, Indonesia, more in Hawaii, Tonga, more Hawaii, Alaska, Texas, okay. Let's see, more Hawaii, Venezuela, Northern Kingdom tribe, all right, Iran, Russia, Pakistan, Japan, right, Amen, New Zealand, more Hawaii, Peru, which is also Northern Kingdom tribes. All right. Let's see, more, another one of Texas, Japan, California, same place in Texas. So you get the point here, right? Puerto Rico, Bolivia, all right, another Puerto Rico, Utah, Alaska. So yeah, earthquakes in diverse places, okay? All these are the beginning of sorrows, man. So that's why when you go into that earthquakes, right? Right? Strong's G 4578 cites most, you get commotion. Commotion. Right? A state of confused and noisy disturbance. When you go into the like some similar terms, disturbance, racket, uproar. We just read what? Second Esdras, chapter 9, right? Verse 1 through 4. I think verse 3 goes into that. Earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, man. Okay? This is an uproar, for an example. A commotion. Okay? And this is not just happening in America. There's many places experiencing uproars of the people. Okay? All these are the beginning of sorrows. All right. Let's get another one. Sedition among men. 15, 14. I'm going to get straight to the point. The book of Second Esdras, chapter 15, verse 14, 15, and 16, in the KJV Apocrypha. Verse 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Right, so, doom, right, destruction onto the people that's of this world, known as mundanes, right, of this world. Okay. Verse 15, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. So the war that's going to kill, destroy a lot of people is very near. That war, for an example, World War III, Civil War, race wars, and etc. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another. So war, for an example. Race wars, for an example, right? Edomites, so-called white people, against Israelites, right, of the 12 tribes. So-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native American Indians, the other heathen nations, so-called Chinese, so-called Japanese, so-called Africans, so-called Egyptians, so-called Russians, just going against each other, all right? Real soon, people are going to start literally just clicking up, linking up with their nation only. A great division is coming. Edomites are going to be with Edomites. Israelites going to be with Israelites. Within the Israelites, you know, that's something that Southern Kingdom and Northern Kingdom still struggle with because of the curse. Southern Kingdom, Northern Kingdom thinks that they are a complete different nation. So there's going to be division within 2/3 as well too. Southern Kingdom are linking up with the Southern Kingdom. Within the Southern Kingdom, right, you're going to have so-called Negroes linking up, so-called Haitians being together, so-called Jamaicans being together, so-called Puerto Ricans being together, so-called Mexicans being together, so-called Dominicans being together, Argentina, Peruvian, and etc. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Modern day swords, the gun. All right. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men. There's going to be rioting among men. There's going to be race wars amongst men. There's going to be division among men. There's going to be insurrections among men. Violent uprising. Okay? And invading one another. They, right, the people, they shall not regard, right, take into consideration of their kings or princes, right? So they, the people, are not going to take into consideration that, you know, the president is the president, the vice president is the vice president, the government is the government. You know, there's people in power. Ignoring the legitimate government. No princes, right? For an example, I think it was one of these videos. I think it was a chick with a megaphone right in the face of these other riot squads saying, yeah, you should be ashamed, something like that. For an example, right? The princes, your law enforcement officers. People ain't going to regard, people ain't going to care no more that you got a badge on. You're wearing a uniform. Expressing yourself as being a modern day slave patrol officer, aka police officer. People ain't gonna care. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. The people are going to take matters into their own hands, not giving a damn about the government, those supposed to be in power. The average people here in America are about to start taking matters into their own hands. Okay? So, Lord willing, the lesson was edifying, plain upon the tables. All right? This definitely going to lead to, you know, that race wars, sedition among men. Just all hell breaking loose, man. Especially how you got these Palestinians, man, over there in Washington, D.C., burning your flags. They invaded your nation. So what you gonna do about it? You proud patriots? Are you gonna continue to allow this to happen? Look at them come. They were replacing the flags, man. So yeah, anywho, you know, Lord willing, the lesson was edifying. Plain upon the tables, repent, Yasha Allah, repent or perish. Let's close out by giving a much due all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QaDash. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of Great Millstone, and much due respect to you, sincere Akim, who are laboring in the works. Shalom to you believers, to the Akim wa Aqwa, which will be your brothers, few amount of sincere sisters who do subscribe to this truth, listening and learning in silence as the scriptures say so. Shalom. AHBA YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI BAHASHAM QaDash BARAK SHALAK RAYAM YAHAWAHSHI YAHAWAHSHI La Ko Adawamyam 𝤉𝐄𝐄𝐅𝐿𝐿 La Pasadena, Texas La Babal Abad Babasha YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI BAHASHAM QaDash Tawada Tamyad Tawab Aman.